Please take your seats quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Hi guys, and welcome to 1minutetennis.com. In today's session, I want to talk to you about the racket lag on the forehand. And I want to specifically help you with the timing of the racket lag. Because if the timing of the racket lag is not almost perfect, then it makes the movement incredibly ineffective. And I'm going to show you a great drill how you can get the timing on your racket lag absolutely perfect almost immediately. Now, what happens to the vast majority of players when they're trying to lag the racket? They know that the racket's got to drop back ideally at like a 45 to 90 degree angle away from the ball, and they point the butt cap at the ball. But the problem is they do it way too early. You see, when you make the racket lag too early, I might be lagging here and the ball is maybe 3 meters away, and now it's 2 meters away, and now it's 1 meter away, and then I snap through and hit. And that means that you left the racket lag too late and that you began the racket lag too early. You see, the racket lag is actually a byproduct of the wrist being super loose. It's not a movement that is consciously made. And so it happens right at the last moment in the stroke, the last possible moment. So what happens is the player has the wrist loose, their hand moves forwards, and the racket moves back. See here, I'm not putting the racket back. My hand moves forwards, and as I throw the racket up and catch it, the racket moves back. Hand forwards, racket back. Hands forwards, racket back. And in this movement, as you can see in the video, then the ball will pass the hand, or at the very least be level with the hand, before the racket snaps and accelerates through, creating a much more powerful stroke than a movement without the racket lag. And the problem is that if I make the racket lag consciously, it's totally different. You see, doing it this way, the racket is alive, but doing it this way, the racket is substantially slower. Alive, I just literally am pulling my hand forwards and the racket goes back and then snaps through. And now I consciously do it and it's just not the same. I can feel stress on my wrist, it's an uncomfortable feeling, and the racket speed is dramatically slower. So how do you get the timing that the pros achieve with all their countless hours of practice? How can you put that into your game? But here's a great drill. What I want you to do is, first of all, have the balls gently fed, and you try and swing and hit the ball with either the butt cap of the racket or your hand. So you swing through, and we're going to try and hit the ball with the butt cap or the hand. When you do that, then your racket lag timing will be correct. And now, once you've got the feel of this, then step a little bit further away from these feeds. And now we imagine that we're going to hit a second ball. So we have the real ball coming towards the racket. You imagine that there is a second ball by the side of it that you're going to hit with the butt cap, and then you allow the racket to snap through. So we have the imaginary ball and the real ball. The imaginary ball going to hit the racket, butt, and then the real ball is hit by the strings as the racket naturally snaps through. Once you have the timing of this, then it's such a good feeling. It creates so much easy power that it's then natural to actually employ this in your everyday ground strokes. But if you struggle with it, then go back to this drill, just get some gently hand-fed balls, and then let the racket with a loose wrist come through and let the racket butt hit the ball that's coming in. And then you can see that when you swap to hit the ball with the strings, then your hand will have passed the ball and the racket will then accelerate through, and you'll have tremendous power, speed and spin. I hope this makes sense. I'd love to know how it works in your game or the players that you work with. You know, I love your feedback. And remember, if you want more help with your game, have a look at our books on Amazon. We have the 1 Minute Tennis Serve Solution, Volley Solution and Forehand Solution. They're a unique blend of detailed biomechanical breakdown of the strokes, information on the anatomy and physics and science of the strokes, and then super simple solutions such as the one here to help you apply changes to your game. And if you're serious about changing your game, have a look at what I'm doing with online coaching. I'm helping players in over 30 countries all over the world with a unique blend of video analysis and then one-to-one lessons such as this, tailor-making a program for you. So use the racket lag timing. Don't consciously lag the racket. Let the racket drop behind the hand, but then make it sure that your hand passes the ball and the racket snaps through the acceleration, speed and power that we see from the best players in the world. Thanks for watching, and see you next time for more unique tennis lessons that really work.